The first operational Allied jet fighter of World War II was not American or German. It was British, the legendary Gloster Meteor. When people think about jet fighters in World War II, they usually remember Germany's Me-262. But hidden behind the chaos of war, Britain was secretly building a machine that would change aerial combat forever. The Gloster Meteor was fast, powerful, and unlike anything most pilots had ever seen in the sky. By 1944, the war in Europe had reached a deadly stage. German V-1 flying bombs were raining destruction across England. Cities lived under constant fear. Traditional propeller fighters struggled to catch the incoming missiles. Britain needed something faster, something revolutionary. That answer came roaring out of British factories with twin jet engines and a sound the world had never heard before. The Meteor looked futuristic even by today's standards. Sleek fuselage, straight wings, twin engines mounted beneath them. It was the beginning of the jet age. The story of the Meteor began years earlier with British engineer Frank Whittle, a visionary officer who believed aircraft powered by jet engines would someday outperform propeller planes. Many experts mocked the idea. Some called it impossible. But Whittle refused to quit. His experimental jet engine eventually caught the attention of the British government. As the war intensified, officials realized jet technology could become critical for survival. The aircraft company Gloster was selected to build the fighter around Whittle's engines. The result became the Gloster Meteor. The Meteor first flew in 1943. Test pilots were stunned by its smooth acceleration and incredible speed. Unlike piston-engine fighters, there was no violent propeller vibration, just pure forward thrust. Pilots described the experience as feeling like the future. But the Meteor arrived during one of the most dangerous periods of the war. Nazi Germany was launching advanced weapons and experimenting with jet aircraft of its own. Britain feared that if Germany gained complete control of jet technology first, the balance of air power could change overnight. So the Meteor program was pushed into emergency production. In July 1944, the Meteor officially entered Royal Air Force service. It became the Allies' first operational jet fighter. However, British commanders were extremely cautious. They feared that if a Meteor crashed in occupied territory, Germany could capture the technology. Because of this, early Meteor missions were mostly limited to defending Britain itself. Its first major enemy was not another aircraft. It was the terrifying German V-1 flying bomb. The V-1 was essentially an early cruise missile, fast, loud, and deadly. Thousands were launched toward British cities. Conventional fighters often struggled to intercept them because the bombs flew at high speed and low altitude. The Meteor changed everything. Using its jet-powered speed, Meteor pilots hunted V-1s across the skies of southern England. Some pilots destroyed the bombs with cannon fire. Others performed one of the most dangerous maneuvers of the war, flying beside the V-1 and tipping its wing to disrupt the missile's gyroscope, sending it crashing harmlessly away from populated areas. It was an incredible display of skill and courage. Soon, civilians began hearing strange new sounds overhead. The Meteor's jet engines produced a deep roar unlike any aircraft before it. Many people did not even know Britain possessed such technology. To the public, it almost seemed like science fiction. Despite its success against the V-1, the Meteor rarely fought enemy aircraft during World War II. British leaders wanted to protect the secret technology until the war's outcome was more certain. Meanwhile, Germany deployed the famous Messerschmitt Me-262, the world's first operational jet fighter. On paper, the German aircraft was faster than the Meteor. But Germany faced fuel shortages, pilot shortages, and relentless Allied bombing campaigns that crippled production. The Meteor, meanwhile, proved more reliable and easier to operate. British engineers continuously improved the aircraft. Later versions became faster and more stable. Pilots appreciated its heavy armament of 4 powerful 20mm cannons mounted in the nose, capable of shredding enemy aircraft in seconds. The Meteor also had another major advantage: twin engines. If one engine failed, pilots sometimes still had a chance to return home safely. As the war neared its end, Meteor squadrons prepared for possible deployment into continental Europe. But Germany surrendered before the aircraft could fully demonstrate its potential in large-scale air combat. Even so, the Meteor had already made history. It marked the beginning of a completely new era of warfare. The age of piston engine dominance was ending. The jet age had arrived. After World War II, the Meteor became one of Britain's most important military aircraft. It served in multiple countries and participated in early Cold War operations. Newer versions set speed records and pushed aviation technology even further. For many young pilots, flying the Meteor was like stepping into tomorrow. The aircraft also helped train an entire generation of jet aviators who would later fly more advanced fighters during the Cold War. Although later jets eventually surpassed it, the Meteor earned deep respect from aviation historians. It was not merely an experimental machine. It was a true combat aircraft that proved jet fighters could operate successfully in real wartime conditions. Today, surviving Meteors are displayed in museums and air shows around the world. Their polished metal bodies still look futuristic decades later. And whenever one of the restored aircraft takes flight, audiences hear the same thunderous sound that once echoed over wartime Britain. The sound of the future being born. The Gloster Meteor may not be as famous as some wartime fighters, but its legacy is enormous. It defended Britain during one of its darkest hours, introduced the Allies to jet combat, and helped transform military aviation forever. Without the Meteor, the modern fighter jet era might have arrived very differently. It was more than just a warplane. It was the bridge between the propeller age and the jet age. And in the dangerous skies of World War II, that made the Gloster Meteor one of the most important aircraft ever built.